My name is Arin Lindauer, and you're listening to A Life Without Struggle. I'm a wife, a mother of 2 wonderful children, a 2-time best-selling author, and a highly driven and successful entrepreneur. In my 17-plus year career as a mindset and health expert, I know what holds women back from a life you only dream about. Whether you're a CEO, a businesswoman, or executive, I started this podcast because I have been where you are, and I know you want and deserve more out of your life. I believe women are limitless. We just get lost along the way. The process to get you there is the topic and purpose of this podcast. When you understand what you want, you can truly step into a life without struggle. Welcome, and I'm so thankful you're here. Welcome back to another episode of Life Without Struggle. My name is Arin Lindauer, and today we've got a good one. So I know I always say that, but today I'm going to ask you a very bold question. Tell the truth. Now you may be wondering, what the heck is she talking about? I want you to tell the truth in all areas of your life. I want you to evaluate every aspect of where you're at, from not only your body, from your overall health, your relationships, your finances, your career, business. Tell the truth. Are you happy? Are you where you want yourself to be? Are you kicking it on all cylinders? I want you to tell the truth. The reason I'm asking this question so many times is I want this to sink in. The reason I'm asking it is because chances are you've looked in the mirror, you're not happy with what you see, you've been doing this, doing that when it comes to your workouts, your nutrition. You look at the mirror and you're unhappy. You look at the scale and you're unhappy. Yet we put on the smile every day, and we get up and we go out there and we produce and we take care of people and we do all the things every single day. But do you ever stop and tell the truth to yourself that you're unhappy, that you're frustrated? And then even more, do you do something about it? Today, I want to get really, really real with you because ultimately, at the end of the day, I know you visualize and see and desire a new version of yourself. But we're unsure how to actually get there. We're unsure how to put the pieces together. We keep searching on the internet. We keep watching TikTok. We keep listening to podcasts. We keep going on Instagram. We talk to our girlfriends. We hope our doctor has the magic secret. Yet, week after week, month after month, year after year, we're still in the same spot or worse. We keep seeking out a diet. We keep seeking out a workout plan. And it's supposed to deliver these results. We're supposed to get some type of result because that's what it promised. Yet again, we continue to show up with another failure. So here we are, searching year after year after year for yet another diet, yet another workout program. And so in this podcast, I'm going to tell you that you're going to continue to search and search and search and continue to find things that ultimately are not going to produce the results. And I want to share with you why. So you're listening to this podcast because I know you've got goals. I know you want something better for yourself. I know that you've experienced frustration, disappointment, sadness, anger. You've been looking for a solution that's ultimately going to get you the results, but yet everything keeps leading you back to yet another failure, another, money down the drain. And it's just frustrating because you keep dreaming about all of this success. The thing I'm here to tell you is you're not alone. You're like thousands of other women that I have literally talked to. They've tried to put this together, yet once again, they're ultimately coming up with all these stacked failures. And that does something to you. It really etches in you that, can I really do this? It's no different in business. Let's think about it this way. If we keep trying different marketing strategies, trying different, this person said to do this person said to do that, and yet everything keeps falling apart. Nothing seems to stick. There's got to be something to that. What's really going on? One thing that I know is when we continue to piece things together, we hope and pray it works. Rarely does it ever come full circle. Something that I know and that I want to speak into women is we have to ultimately understand what it is that we actually want in our life. For most women, they don't. They kind of sort of think this number on the scale sounds good, yet they ultimately know that they should probably lose more weight. Well, there's something to that. What you're doing in your psychology is you're telling yourself that you don't go all in. You're telling yourself that, okay, this is good enough. And I'm here to tell you that that's a very, very dangerous space to say this is good enough. Because what's going to happen is this is going to show up in other places of your life. See, there was a time when I looked in the mirror. I was extremely disappointed with what I saw. And if I was being completely honest, I was disappointed in all areas of my life. Nothing was going the way that I desired. And what happens to a woman is we're just making it through the day. We're just getting through the day because we're survivors. We'll figure it out. Everybody else comes before we do. And that's what we do. We sink ourselves into work. We sink ourselves into our kids. And rarely do we step back and say, dang, this isn't the life I signed up for. I remember vividly sitting there going, dang, this isn't the life I signed up for. But I didn't know what to do next. And it sent me down a very, very dark journey that I really questioned if I could ever get out of it. It took me getting really raw. It took me getting really real. And it took me finally stepping back to truly step forward. I had to reduce my workouts. I had to stop running and beating the pavement. I had to stop completely restricting my calories to just binge on the weekend. I had to get real with how much alcohol I was taking in. And I had to really ask myself, hey, Arin, what do you actually want? I didn't know that answer for quite some time. It took me really understanding that, hey, you can have anything you want. You can have anything you desire. You've been taught lack. You've been taught to settle. You've been taught that this is good enough. Yet I knew there was so much more. I saw other people doing it. I saw other people rocking it. I saw other people having amazing businesses, having amazing relationships, having, great relationships with their kids well into their adult years. I saw healthy, vibrant bodies. I saw loving relationships. And I thought, you know what? There's nothing different between them and me. But what did they do to get there? I got wildly curious with the how. Like, what did you actually do? And yet it seemed too simple. When I would talk to a different mentor, when I would talk to a person that had been through, maybe a program that I was looking at, it just seemed too simple. Like, really, you just got to get clear on what you want. And what I had to figure out was all of the different stories, all the different limiting beliefs. I had to understand what was the purpose. Why was I holding on to these stories that truly didn't define who I was? Why was I playing small? Why was I keeping myself in a box? And I ultimately had to really understand that, hey, listen, You were born to do something totally different. You were born to truly help women in a time of their life that they truly don't think there's anything left. They think this is it. And I'm here to shake and wake up women to say, you know what? There is more to this life. You know, what you're doing right now, cool. But what else do you desire? What else do you want? And you may say, you know what, Arin, everything's going great. And I'm going to check you and ask you, are you 100% confident in your own skin? Can you wear anything in that closet? Can you rock a two-piece at your next vacation? Do you feel like you could go for that promotion? Are you willing to start that business and burn everything else down to the ground? Are you willing to go all in on you and who you want to be? For a lot of women, myself included, this made me very, very uncomfortable. You know, for whatever reason, we are taught ceilings, we're taught we're not good enough, we're taught we're not pretty enough, we're taught, you know, this or that, or you talk weird, or I don't even know what all we tell ourselves, but we tell ourselves a ton of stories. So we have to understand, what is this internal conflict that we keep feeling? And are we willing to let it go? For me, that sounded too simple. Like, really, I can just let this go? And as easily as we can have a negative thought, we can have a positive thought. As easily as we can say we can't, we can actually say why we can. See, so many times I've told myself I could or couldn't do something. I remember stepping up to the bar the very first time to try 200 pounds. And I will never forget going up to that bar, and I didn't think I could move that bar. And so, of course, I panicked. And did I move the bar? No. But then I was like, oh my God, you did not warm up and build up and do all these exercises to not see if you can move 200 pounds. And so I saddled up again, got myself prepped and ready. And sure enough, I pulled that damn bar up with 200 pounds on it. And if I had backed away, life would have gone on. No big deal. It's really not that big of a deal to lift 200 pounds. It's actually not even a lot of weight. But for me, it was. And it was more of the mental weight that I was picking up. All the self-doubt, all the, am I going to hurt myself? All the, don't throw your back out. You've done that before. All these stories of, Arin, it's okay to stay at 195. You know, I had every story around that. What story do you have around your health similar to that? Why not rock a nice flat stomach? Why not have toned thighs, toned arms? Why not give up those sweets and treats, the alcohol, the things that are actually holding you back? Why not go all in on the things that you desire? What I know is we actually don't know what we want. See, for so long, that was something that really I struggled with. And I can tell you that when you fought for wanting something different, but not knowing what it is, there is a time when you get the ultimate clarity. There is a time when you finally say enough is enough. There's time when you say, hey, this is actually what I want. And the only one that's stopping me from getting there is me. It's a pretty powerful moment when you realize this. And this was something that I realized this past week. This past week, my husband and I had an opportunity to go out to beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona again, which is just a place that we really love. It's a place that we would love to live here in the short future, and I believe that we will make happen. And it's a place where I feel very inspired. I feel very called. We tend to always go and hike every time that we go out there. And this time we went to a hike or a trail called Tom's Thumb. And, you know, I don't know why we always pick like pretty decent hikes, pretty hard hikes, but we did. And I remember the first day we just didn't allocate enough time, and that frustrated me because I want to get to the top, right? And I just didn't realize like, hey, this is going to take a lot more time, just the nature of how long the trail is, the terrain, all that good stuff, and what's humanly possible. But I digress. I think we can do everything in like half the amount of time. But the second day we decided, you know what, we're going to get to the top. And so we kind of timed it out and we got to the top. It was amazing. But there was a space in between getting to the top where it was beautiful. It was peaceful. It was so quiet. And it was there that I was so at peace. And I was like, this is what I want. In that moment signified a lot of things, a lot of peace, a lot of beauty, a lot of courage. I saw other people on this trail, and it was not the easiest. It is certainly not the hardest trail. But I saw a lot of courage. I saw a lot of people loving life. I saw a lot of people saying good morning. I saw a lot of people who believed in themselves to go hike this mountain. When we got to the top of Tom's Thumb, this trail, I said to my husband, I'm like, okay, it's beautiful. We got to go. And he was like taking it all in, which I should have been. But I said to him, I go, hey, we're going to have to run down this mountain because we had to make it to the mastermind. And I mean, we just barely made it. But we hauled ass down this mountain. And I am not kidding you. I was so sore for like 3 days afterwards, but it was so fun to do. And I realized in that moment of physicality and just going into nature that this is something we could have on a daily basis. And it's something that I was like, man, every time we get out here, we make it a point to get out here and hike a mountain, hike a trail. And I was like, how special is this? Yet you could have this every single day. It's just like when I remember going on vacation as a kid, I didn't realize because I just thought, oh, these are places you go to on vacation. But what I started to realize as I got to be an adult and understanding what I want, what I desire, is a lot of these places you can live full time. And so what only thought I had was, oh, you only go to these beautiful places because it's a vacation or you're taking time off. What I realized is your environment is everything. And when you're wanting to massively change who you are and how you show up in this world, your environment matters. When I was in this part of the trail where, it was towards the end of the trail, but it was in between where, you started to descend a little bit, but then you would quickly go up into another ascension to get to the top of the mountain. But you were almost in this ravine type space. And you could look out one way, you could look out the other, and it was just completely different terrain than anything I see on a daily basis. And I mean, you could just see. And it was just wild, all the untapped land, the untapped space, and the abundance. That's what it really represented for me, was seeing all this abundance. So I bring this message to you to ask you, where are you not telling the truth? Where are you not telling the truth in your life? Are you being honest with your health? Are you being honest with what you see on the scale? Are you being honest with your actions day in and day out? And listen, I've been there. I've been there where I was not being honest with myself, with the actions that I were doing. I was doing good enough to get me good enough, but good enough is not enough. And what gets us to point A is not what's going to get us to point B. So we have to truly saddle up, understand that you are going to have to transform. You're going to have to change who you are. You cannot keep holding on to the past. For so many of us, the past is comfortable. The past is all we've ever known. The past is all we're willing to give. And I want to tell you to stop right there, because you're holding back on so much potential of what you can be, what you can do, who you can inspire, who you can help. So I'm asking you, who is the world calling you to be? Being honest with yourself. Are you telling the truth? Are you just saying, cool, Arin, not me? Because if you're saying those words, if you're hiding behind those clothes, it's time to bust out. It's time for you to tell the truth and truly get after who you were meant to be. Let's go get them.